What's up, guys? Brian Elwood. Welcome back to the Virtual Real Estate Investing Podcast. Just got back from an amazing weekend in the mountains with a bunch of friends. We rented a cabin in Breckenridge. We went snowboarding for about 2 or 3 days in a row. The snow was falling out there. It was a really great time. And if you guys have not gotten out to the Rocky Mountains, I highly recommend you book a trip either the summer or the winter. I probably suggested this 3 or 4 other times on this podcast, but it's one of the most amazing things about living out here. It's cool. My fiance was mentioning the other day, it's like we finally live somewhere where people actually come for vacation. And I thought that was really neat because I remember in college, I was having a conversation with a buddy about, why do we just go on vacation to these really cool places? Why don't we freaking live there? I remember thinking that was a big epiphany in college. And so living somewhere now where people vacation, I get it. It's definitely worth it if you can finagle that in your life, because then you don't have to really leave your general area to go do fun things, and people will come to see you a lot more than you have to go see them. So get your butts out here. Go snowboard and let me know if you do. Today, I want to tackle a topic that I've been talking about a lot on coaching calls and things like that. I have a lot of questions about this. So we need to really nip this in the bud. So many people come to me, whether I'm coaching them or just doing like a short consult call with them. And of course I start out by asking them what their goals are, what their lifestyle is, what they're trying to accomplish. And they usually start out by telling me, well, Brian, I want to build a big real estate business, and I want to do wholesale deals, or I want to flip houses, and I want to hire an acquisition manager, and I want to do it virtually, and I want to do all that stuff you did, and that'll be badass, right? And I say, well, slow down for a second. What's the purpose of all this? Like, why do you want to build this huge business? And they say to me, well, because I want freedom. I want to quit my job, and I want freedom. I want to live my perfect day. I want to have control over my time. I want to be financially free. That's almost always people's deeper reason for getting into real estate. Okay. And so I usually tell them my story of how I started out flipping and what I kind of learned, hoping that it'll maybe shed some light on what they should do. So I'm going to tell that story right now. So when I first got started in real estate, I was mainly doing wholesaling. It's a one-man show. Then I partnered up with a guy. We started to do more and more deals, and we spent more money on marketing. We brought on an acquisition manager, really blew up our company up over $1 million a year in gross revenue. We added an office manager. We added a project manager. We added a lead manager, a marketing manager. What else? An inside sales rep. We had a virtual assistant. I think we had 10 employees total when we were at our biggest. And then me and my business partner made it 12. So during that time, I was making good money, right? I was also very busy. Okay. I was managing lots of employees. I was, being the CEO of the company, sharing it with my business partner, but we were the CEOs. So we managed all of our team. I spent a lot of my weeks on conference calls and looking at financials and looking at KPIs and basically being a manager to all of my team. So even though I did not have a job throughout that whole time, I also did not really have freedom. I was now confined to my desk at my house all the time. It's a different kind of, being confined. Like, it's better, right? I could technically wear my pajama pants all day or drink a beer at noon, and like there weren't rules, right? I could go work from the coffee shop sometimes and stuff like that. We did set the business up virtually, so when I moved to Denver, I was never going to houses or anything like that anymore. But it was still a job, right? And what I had originally been looking for, which was this lifestyle where you wake up with no obligations, no worries about money. You just do the things that make you feel alive all day and things that you're passionate about. And you kind of live in the moment. That was not there for me with the big flipping business, okay? Wholesaling, flipping business. It never was. Now, along the way, as I did all that stuff, I accumulated rental properties. One here, one there, one here, one there, until I had, over 30 of them. And when I looked up, I realized, kind of in the midst of all the flipping and stuff we were doing, I kind of looked up and realized, you know what? I technically don't have to work anymore. This portfolio that I've got, it's not like it's making me tons of money, but it's making me enough money to pay my bills. My bills aren't super high. I can live on less than $100K a year right now, even in Denver. And I was like, wow, how did that happen? And my net worth is pretty high too. Well, where's all that? And like literally all the net worth and all of the passive income was coming from the rentals. Yet I had never really focused on it. It was kind of just this thing. It was like an afterthought. Yeah, let's sock away another rental because this one looks good. And so it was like this afterthought. And so whenever I split up with my business partner last year, I was like, I don't want the big business anymore. I got what I needed from that, but it wasn't, I kind of really asked myself, like, did I even need to do all those wholesale deals? Did I need to flip houses and all that stuff? And honestly, guys, the answer is no, I didn't. And I don't think that you do either. If your goal is to be financially free. Financially free means your passive income equals your expenses, okay? Passive income, meaning income you're not working for. People think that they can make their wholesaling or flipping business 100% passive where they're not working for it. But everyone that I've ever seen, they might be able to replace everything they do with somebody else in their business, except for one. They have to be the CEO. I've never seen anybody actually hire someone to run their flipping business to where they're literally just a shareholder that just gets a check each month. They're always involved, a lot of times in a huge way, working 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week, making that machine run. It's a big, big machine to keep running. Whereas a portfolio of rentals is largely passive. Property managers have the permission to fix most things when they go wrong. I only get called if the repair's, expensive. Hey, it's going to be $3,000 for a new HVAC, Brian. We need your approval. Or sometimes they'll tell me, hey, this tenant went, or they left, and so we're going to rent it to someone else, or we're going to have to evict them or whatever. I'm just hearing about those things. I'm not doing anything about it. Like, everything of that is all delegated. Office manager to do with the paperwork, accountant, bookkeeper to do the financials, right? It's all passive. It's as passive as, I guess stocks is a little more passive, right? Because literally it's just like looking at a website to see how your investment is doing. But rentals can be very, very passive. And so I just want to make this distinction for you guys. Like, if you want to quit your job right away and get into real estate, you probably do need to do some flips because you can replace your income quicker via, like, if you could do a fix and flip and make 25K, you might even only need to do 2 or 3 of those a year, and you can not have a job, right? But to make 50 to 75K a year in passive income is going to take you longer because you got to get a bunch of rentals. So it's up to you to decide what's the best strategy for you. If you like your job, just stay there and divert as much funds as you can towards rentals, but find other ways to buy them without your own money. and grow that portfolio. If you want to quit right away, get into flipping, just realize that flipping is only going to give you freedom from your job. It's not going to give you freedom from everything, right? Total freedom comes when mailbox money is just hitting your mailbox every month. It's covering your bills. Then you only work when you want to work. You only work on the things you want to work on. And like I'm always preaching, that is the place to get to, because that's the best lifestyle that you could ever possibly live. So I hope that helps, guys. When you make your decision on, am I going to flip houses? Am I going to wholesale? Am I going to buy rentals? I hope that sheds a little bit of light on which one you should do. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And thank you guys so much for listening. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.